everyone, it is Monica here from TVandPopcorn.com, and I am here to give my review on How to Get Away with Murder. And right now, this is Season 2, Episode 10, titled, What Happened to You, Annalise? And wow. First, I could say the TGIT is back full force. All of Shondaland's shows aired on February the 11th, 2016. So there's a lot to discuss, and I'm going to start with How to Get Away with Murder first, and then I'll maybe do some reviews on the other two shows, but I really wanted to talk about How to Get Away with Murder because, wow, the show has so many twists and turns, and I really felt like the writers, the producers, the directors brought their A game on this episode because I felt like I was actually watching a movie, some type of horror film, and not an actual show, which I really did enjoy. It was very well put together, and it gave these subtle, creepy moments, like you don't know what's getting ready to happen, and you don't know which way it's about to turn. And so here's where we take off here in Season 2, Episode 10 of How to Get Away with Murder, is Annalise has been shot. And of course, we all know that Wes shot her, but it is actually Laurel who is saying that she shot Annalise because she's trying to protect Wes in a sense from the rest of the group, because of course Wes had a hand in the murder of Annalise's husband in Season 1. So she doesn't want the group to kind of feel like Wes is just on his rocker and they're having to watch out for him. You know, she doesn't want the group to feel threatened by him. So right now we're seeing Annalise in recovery. And as the episode moves into her recovery, she's having these delusions and she kind of seems like she's not in her right mind, but she is at the same time. It's insane. And I believe that Annalise really is traumatized by what Wes did and the fact that Wes was really ready to kill her. Now, some things did not make sense to me in my mind, and there was a scene in this episode where Annalise was speaking with Laurel, and she was telling Laurel that she told Wes that Rebecca was dead, which she really is. Of course, we know that. They don't know that. But she told Wes that Rebecca was really dead to get him to do what he did. But in my mind, and I have to get her name because I always forget how to say her name. You know, Annalise's side kick. What's her name, you guys? Bonnie. There we go. I don't know why I always lose Bonnie's name. It's always on the tip of my tongue, but then I lose it. Okay. So Bonnie was right when she said Annalise wanted to die that night, because in my mind, you don't use Rebecca against Wes. They already knew that Wes was off his rocker about Rebecca to begin with. So to me, you don't say that to someone like Wes, who's been looking for Rebecca this long and who has already assumed she was dead and has went to great lengths to even try to figure out what happened to her. You don't use that and this person has a loaded gun. You just don't do it. So in my mind, I'm thinking, what the heck did she expect for him to, or how did she expect for him to react with her saying that? Is, my thoughts. So in this episode, Laurel asked Annalise, was it true? And of course, Annalise said, I just told him that, just to get him to shoot me. Now, of course, I believe that at the time, if we go back to episode 9, Annalise was under a lot of pressure to get this so-called plan on the move. And then at the time, Asher had already ran over the prosecuting lawyer and killed her. So there was a lot that they had to deal with and cover up in little time, which is very true. So maybe Annalise didn't really want to die. Maybe it was just her under pressure trying to get something done and trying to get someone to do something. So maybe she thought about the first thing that was going to actually make her tick. Maybe that's what happened, possibly. So now we're seeing Annalise having these flashbacks, and she's having flashbacks of a woman who is or left a child with her for some reason. I don't know what that's all about, but I have a few, I guess you could say, guesses about what it's about. And the first one is that possibly, I don't think Annalise was really pregnant in her flashback. I think that for some reason, her and the prosecuting lawyer or defense lawyer, whoever this lady was that Shonda them has written into the show in the beginning of season 2, this woman and Annalise had some type of investigation or something into Wes's mother. That's what I think. And I believe that the investigation went south. Maybe they convinced this woman that she was crazy, or they convinced her, maybe they were investigating her that she was a bad mother. Maybe she was abusing Wes, and they were trying to figure out if she was. I don't think Annalise was really pregnant when she approached her in the flashback. I think it was all a ploy to start a conversation with her and to get to know her, to see what was happening with her and Wes, because one of the other flashbacks that I remember was when Wes was being interrogated, or, I guess he was in the little room and the lady was asking him questions about his mom after she, I guess, supposedly killed herself or whatever. And Annalise walked into the room and she was behind the glass and she goes, "What did we do?" So I feel like there was an investigation going on and maybe they took it too far and it went over the edge, possibly. So that's what I'm thinking in my mind. That's the only thing I could come up with right now at this point. So in this episode, Annalise also has to testify against Catherine, who is one of her clients, or was one of her clients here in the beginning of season 2. And her brother Caleb were accused of killing their parents brutally. And so the whole plot ended up with Annalise being shot and the shooting being placed on Catherine, which of course they're framing her, which Frank had a lot to do with that. And what they needed the judge to believe is that Catherine did indeed shoot Annalise, and that I guess the other prosecutor lawyer was chasing her and ended up falling off the roof somehow. So they had all of these different little stories spinning here. And so Annalise pretty much played dumb on the stand and broke client privilege on the stand, which led her to be able to talk Caleb into actually getting his sister to confess to shooting Annalise. And that's exactly what Catherine ended up doing. But the weird thing about this whole scene was it almost appeared as if the judge was getting ready to drop the case because there wasn't enough evidence. But then she ended up confessing. And I'm thinking overall that they actually did need the confession. And that way, Catherine and Caleb could both get off for their parents' murder. Catherine wouldn't serve as much time. And then it would cover Asher for killing the prosecutor. So they were trying to knock all of those birds out with one stone. And me personally, I still don't think Caleb is as innocent as he appears, but that's just my 2 cents of an opinion on it. And so right now we're left with, and this is the creepy part of the episode, we're left with Annalise still having these delusions about a baby being left with her. And at the end of the scene, she's actually dancing with this baby. And then the scene flips and shows her dancing by herself, but still smiling and laughing and holding this baby in her arms. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? I mean, creepy. And the other creepy, most awesome scene is when Annalise was telling Bonnie to quiet the baby, take the baby upstairs, that a woman had left the baby with her, and she ran to the door and said, you have to take care of this baby. And Bonnie was holding the blanket with the baby in it And then the next scene rolled around and she unfolded the blanket and nothing was in it, or she kind of released the blanket. I'm like, wow, amazing. I loved it. That was, just perfect the way they rolled that scene out. So what's going to happen next with How to Get Away with Murder? What's going on? We're left off with right now, not a major case really, because it looks like maybe they wrapped up this whole thing with Catherine and Caleb. So now we're left with Wes wanting to know what Annalise knows about his mother, about his past, and he's kind of figured out what we all knew all along, is that he made it into the program and into college because Annalise did know him. And so the last scene of How to Get Away with Murder was Wes actually confronting Annalise about it, and Annalise getting rattled, and she literally picked up something, looks like a trophy or something. Gosh, here we go with the trophies again. And he looked at her and he said, "You think I want to hurt you?" And she said something along the lines of, "I think you ruined me." So she's really distraught by what Wes did to her. But in my mind, I'm thinking, Annalise, really? You played Rebecca. You played the Rebecca card. That's the worst card you could play. It could have got to the point where she could have just shot herself. We all thought she shot herself. To me, it would have been better. But I think the fact that she knew Wes was really willing to kill her, it's just something else, So that's what we're left with right now with the end of season 10. It's just where it's going to go between Wes and Annalise. What really happened to his mother? What role did Annalise play in the situation? And like I said, I believe they were investigating his mother or something. They suspected that she was doing something. Maybe she was abusing him. I don't know. But maybe she wasn't all there herself, 100%. So I'm thinking that may have been what happened. I don't believe that Annalise herself was really expecting a child. That's just my guess at it. And if I'm right, I'm going to be like, woo, party time. That's awesome. So that's what I'm thinking right now. But that's all I have for you guys. I thought that How to Get Away with Murder coming back from its mid-season finale was awesome. I think it was great writing. I thought the whole episode was shot well. And there's definitely a lot going on. A lot of people had a hard time figuring it out and keeping it up. And I saw a lot of comments, especially on Facebook, where people are saying that they had to watch it twice already to kind of figure out what was going on. But I really do like the twist with this coming back. And Annalise told Nate to get out, which I was shocked because Nate did come and visit her. But if I was Nate, I would run in the opposite direction. It's at the point right now where he's clear and his name has been cleared for the crap that, for him possibly killing Annalise's husband, and which he did not do. And she framed him for that. At this point, I think Annalise just needs to let Nate go. And she just needs to deal with her crazies on her own. Find a new friend, one that she hasn't been intimate with, or, hasn't had the type of connection she's had with Nate. And she just needs to move on with her life and let him go so he can live his life and start fresh. And I would move to a whole new city and town. Just saying. So those are my thoughts, you guys. And I want you to leave me a comment. Also, if you have enjoyed my little review here, please, please, please subscribe. I love to have you as a subscriber. And I try to respond back to all of my comments. So I would definitely love to hear your thoughts on How to Get Away with Murder. And once again, this is Monica from TVandPopcorn.com. You can visit me at any time at TVandPopcorn.com. And I will talk to you guys really soon. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.